Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It's a 5:30 start, something unique to the Panthers on a bright, sunshiny autumn afternoon. Cool temperatures, sunshine. The lineup will be similar to what we've seen before coming out of here. And we'll be going against Erie McDowell. These Erie teams usually have a strong showing. They draw from a large area. There's two main schools, and these guys should put up a good contest this afternoon. Panthers huddle at center. And we'll be set to start this Saturday afternoon game. Panthers are coming off a 4-0 Canamac win. Kind of a lackluster first half, but Phil Dormer scored 2 goals to bring the Panthers back to a 4-0 shutout win. And we'll be looking forward to a nice game this afternoon. Ball set up at center. Panthers are anxious to start. And Erie McDowell still huddled up over here. The Erie McDowell lineup, a lot of underclassmen, and St. Clair showing 5 senior starters. Up front, we got Carlton Laston, and we've got Joey Palladino, Robbie Merritt, and Colin Fiduska coming up. In the middle, we've got Matt Myron starting. It's a change. And Mike McCurry. And in the back, we've got Steve Cowell, David Steen, Chris Burke, and Joe Rust, a new face in the back. Mark Hass, the goalkeeper, and Erie McDowell puts it into play. Joe Rust settles. Erie McDowell comes in. Step around. First shot taken. David Steen makes a knockdown. And the Panthers clear the ball up to midfield. Nice sliding stop. Erie McDowell turned the ball around. And we're sending it in. Colin Fiduska settles it down, looks inside. Erie McDowell gains control, coming down the hash marks. And they're trying to set up a play inside the box. Ball gets headed up. Joe Russ sends it back out. Robbie Merritt picks it up and sends it up the left side. Ball's going to Erie McDowell, coming back in. Last touch off Robbie Merritt. Throw down the sidelines by Erie McDowell. Headed out. Joe Russ goes up. And Joey Palladino makes a nice pull back. Ball out of bounds, going to St. Clair. This could be a feeling out process for both teams since they don't play each other on a regular basis. Just once a year, we travel there, they travel here. And since it's out of section, we'll see how freely we do substitutions across the game. Steve Cowell on the outside, right back. Sends it up to Colin Fiduska, looks for Robbie Merritt in the middle, and passes back to Stevie Cowell. Carlton Laston back to the goal. Chris Burke chips it over the top. Goalkeeper comes out to the top of the box, and Erie McDowell send it back into play. Line dropped about the 40-yard line, headed over by Erie McDowell, helped out. And Mike McCurry brings it back. Over the top. Defense is chasing back. David Steen sends it back out. It'll be a restart by Erie McDowell. Throw in centers. Heads out. It'll be a deep throw in for the Panthers. Steve Cowell sends it up to Colin Fiduska, coming down the right side, chipped out by Erie McDowell. Restart about the 30-yard line. Robbie Merritt's coming off a hat trick against Trinity, 3 nice goals. So we're hoping to get some scoring punch against Erie McDowell. Chris Berg will chase down, and Stevie Kyle's going to throw it back in. looks forward. Mike McCurry settles it down. Matt Myron across to Joe Rust in the back. Looks back to Chris Burke. Forwards are starting to pressure. We'll see how this back passing starts happening. Steve Kyle looks nice long cross field. Joey Palladino pushed down, and we'll get the call for a direct kick. Chris Burke will left foot this ball in. See what strategy we're going to play here from the 45-yard line in. Chris Burke over the top. Nice ball. Robbie Merritt there. Joey Palladino can't get to the ball. And Erie McDowell sends it out to slow the play down. Joe Rust does a throw in. Matt Myron corner nicely to Carlton Laston. Ball goes across the end line. There'll be a goal kick. We're 5 minutes into a scoreless game so far. St. Clair Panthers versus Erie McDowell. Senior goal kick. Sends it out. Back to the defense. And Mike McCurry intercepts. Foul there on Colin Fadus because he comes in for the ball. It's going to go the Panthers' way. Like we said before, this first 5 minutes of feeling out process, we'll see how long it lasts. Chris Burke looking long. Comes across field to Joe Rust. Joe Rust touch to Joey Palladino. Back to Joe Rust. Inside to Robbie Merritt. And Mike McCurry chases it down. Tries to go 1-on-3, intercepted by Erie McDowell. Long ball. Out of bounds. This will be a goal kick for Mark Hass coming out. Definitely look for long ball. Mark Hass clears to the 40-yard line. Joey Palladino chases it down and sends Carlton Laston to the corner, going out of bounds. Joey heads it back into Carlton again. Ball out of bounds by Erie McDowell. Short throwing by the Panthers. We'll see if we look long. Joe Rust throws into Robbie Merritt. Chris Burke sends it back into the middle. Joe Rust looks forward to Carlton Laston. Erie McDowell's playing 8 guys back. Playing 4 mids, 4 defenders back, real tight with 2 guys up front. Making it tough to generate something close in on offense. We're going to have to open them up. Steve Cowell down the right side, intercepted by the Erie McDowell defender. Sends it across. Chris Burke disrupts the play. Joe Rust sends it back in. Chris Burke heads it back. Steve Cowell settles it down. Looks nicely to Carlton Laston. Nice flat pass. Coming into the right side. Taken across the end line. And it's going to be a corner for the Panthers. Robbie Merritt will set up for this corner. See if he can loop it over the top. Nice line drive, headed up by the defender, and it's going to be another corner. Referee's changing sides. And Joey Palladino will take it from the left side of the keeper. Joey swinging in with the left foot. Drives it over the top. Mike McCurry stalls the play. And David Steen settles it on the outside. Chris Burke looks to bring it back in. Out of bounds off Erie McDowell. Throw in by Colin Fiduska. And Erie McDowell comes with a long ball way over the top. Mark's going to have to play it high on the box. Plays it out to the side to Joe Rust. And it's out of bounds off Erie McDowell. Robbie Merritt settles it out of bounds. Erie McDowell turns it around. Throw into the middle by Erie McDowell. Looks like they're going to still try long ball. They only got two guys up top. Colin Fiduska steps in, settles it. Man on the chase behind him. Tries to feed it into Robbie Merritt. Comes back with the ball. And the goalkeeper gathers it in. Colin made a nice run. Kept on trying to battle through defense. Long punt. Clears to the 35 on our side. David Steen goes up. Gets a strong forearm from a big guy from Erie McDowell. They come down with the ball, no call. And ball's filtered in with the left foot. This is similar to the Seton LaSalle game. Out of section, not seeing each other. Both ball control teams here. Could be a long afternoon with one goal making a break here. Chris Burke sends it out of bounds. It'll be a deep throw in. Erie McDowell taking a long throw into the box. Headed up and out. Couple of big forwards for Erie McDowell. Look like they're going to be the guys up front, number 6 and number 9. Mark Haas takes the goal kick. Help. Matt Myron heads it back. Again, they're content to play two guys up, not a whole lot of follow, and they're coming back to chase on defense. Throw's going to St. Clair. Colin Fiduska. And Stevie Kyle gathers it in right now. Chris Burke sends it in with a line drive. Robbie Merritt picks it up. Drops it back. Chris Burke centers it in. Settled down by Joe Rust. Chips it back. Mike McCurry makes a grab. And looks forward. Mike McCurry carries it across the middle. Defense collapsed. Forced Matt Myron into a rush. And Stevie Kyle cleans up the back. Matt Myron gathers it back in. Joe Rust feathers it out to Joey Palladino. Joey drops it back. Erie McDowell makes the catch. And St. Clair on the run. Joey Palladino looks forward. Taken down on the grab. It'll be a direct kick for St. Clair. We're winding down, close to 15 minutes gone in this first half. 0-0 score. And again, somewhat lackluster play. Steady between the 20s, not a whole lot of tight pressure. No major chances for either team. Chris Burke sends it down across the 18. Settled down. Stevie Kyle there. Matt Myron sends it back in. Robbie Merritt with a header, and the goalkeeper's in good position. Mike McCurry bows for the ball. Throw in going Erie McDowell's way. Chested down. Drags it all the way back to the 40-yard line. Sets it back for the defense. Robbie Merritt brings it up. Joe Rust recovers. Chris Burke going to send long. Carlton looking for the play off the man. That was good. Carlton Laston put pressure on the defensive back, made him send it out of bounds. Matt Myron drops it back to Joe Rust. Short chip up. And St. Clair, Matt Myron's going to get called for going over top of the back. Erie McDowell goes short. Sends it into the middle. Ball going out of bounds. And St. Clair throw in. Joe Rust sends it up to Joey Palladino. Looks outside to Robbie Merritt. Robbie Merritt makes a nice save. Double team forces Erie McDowell to make the mistake on the sidelines. And substitutions coming in. Vince DeLomo coming in midfield. Ashay Kumar coming in as a forward. As Robbie Merritt changed sides with Ashay coming to the left side. Ball settled back to Chris Burke. Looks forward. Two forwards for Erie McDowell, anticipating that to come across on a touch. Nice step in. Chris comes through. Sends it out of bounds for a long throw in. Erie McDowell substituting at this point. And we're 15 minutes into the first half of a scoreless 0-0 tie. Long throw down the line. Joey Palladino tries to intercept. And they're going to try it again. Chris Burke sends it up the middle, looking for Vince. Matt Myron settles it. Erie McDowell sending long, making us chase. Control. Mike McCurry intercepts. Chris Burke sends it out. The duel back and forth here is kind of between the 20-yard lines, where one team makes some pressure, the other team carries it back out, makes them go 80 yards. Out of bounds off Robbie Merritt. Erie McDowell do a quick start with two guys up front again still. Vince DeLomo settles it at midfield, looks around. Matt Myron comes across, drops it back to Chris Burke. Looks forward to Shea Kumar, nice touch. Looks for Joey Palladino on the outside rather than the inside, but that was a good look. Matt Myron heads it down. Yep. Vince DeLomo takes control of some field. Looks for Robbie Merritt cutting in. Doesn't make it there. Keeper slides out. Ball's loose. Keeper looked like he was close to being out of the box out there. Keeper punts to midfield for Erie McDowell. Headed up. Couple of nice big forwards up here winning the ball. Robbie Merritt settles it down. Matt Myron comes in. See a lot of blue shirts coming back on the ball. There's all 8 of them coming back. It'll make you work through a lot of bodies to get a goal here. If we can generate a transition, we might have a chance for some quick goals here. Shea Kumar passes it out to Robbie Merritt. Fed into the goalkeeper, too far for Vince DeLomo. Keeper sits it off his side of his foot. Joey Palladino steps nicely into open field. Starting to generate a couple more numbers because Erie McDowell was going upfield. Robbie Merritt's in the corner. They were looking for an end call. Referee wasn't in position. Now they got an out-of-bounds throw. Erie McDowell in deep throw, pressured. Works it up to the 40-yard line. Stevie Kyle, nice and physical. Got away with some shoulder-to-shoulder play, which was good. Vince DeLomo, nice touch to Joey Palladino coming down to the corner. Can he cross it? He does. Doesn't get through to Shea Kumar. Well done, well executed, just didn't finish the play. Defense stepped right in on that one. Substitutions for Erie McDowell coming in, and Matt Wilson comes in for the St. Clair Panthers. We're at the midway point of the first half, 20 minutes left, 0-0, St. Clair and Erie McDowell. Joey Palladino bumped off the ball. Chris Burke cleans it up. Looks forward. Vince DeLomo has open field. Stevie Kyle chases down. It'll be St. Clair throw in. Quick start to Matt Wilson. A couple of fresh legs in for Erie McDowell here trying to make some long runs. Shea Kumar tries to feather it through to Vince DeLomo. Doesn't happen. Matt Wilson putting pressure. And Erie McDowell changes the field. Looks long again. Chases Marcast out to the corner of the box. Gathers it in. Long throw all the way across field to the weak side. Steve Kyle looks up nicely. We're finding the open man. We had a Shea Kumar offside. It's a nice play and looking for open field. Good touches. The Shea stepped offside. Referee was right on line with him. Erie McDowell sends it into play. Line drive. Matt Myron steps up. Still shoulders it down. Joey Palladino tries to go down the line. Shouldered out. Comes back. And it'll be a throw in for St. Clair. Goes short to Shea Kumar. Three guys collapsed on the ball, so we got to have somebody open around here. Matt Wilson, white long sleeves, sends it up. Streaking 23, Chris Burke makes the slide tackle, makes the bump. Out of bounds off of Burke. A lot of physical play coming up here. But it was good action. Erie McDowell take the throw from the 30-yard line on the football field. No, this is going to be they're still debating it. It's going to be a throw. There wasn't a foul called at all. Sends it in. They called that advantage. Referee pulled the whistle up to his mouth to look for the trip and called it advantage, let it go. Phil Dormish, who had 2 goals in the last game, comes in. Joey Palladino out. Throw in by Steve Kyle. Matt Wilson will drop it back. Steve Kyle taking a long throw again. We haven't seen Danny Poljak in.
He's injured.
Okay. That tells me he's injured.
He should be able to play.
Yeah. This non-section game, move is going to be safe with this for sure. Erie McDowell tries to maintain control in the midfield. Foul called. St. Clair will take a direct kick at midfield. Winding down to 16 minutes left in the half. Still scoreless. When you see these two like teams go against each other with ball control, it's tough. Nice ball over the top. Matt Myron heads it. Phil Dormish chasing it down. Looks to do a crossover. Goes to the end line. Bumped out of bounds. And it's going to be a corner for St. Clair. Phil's been taking these corners, and he's been laying it in there on the far post nicely. We'll see if he can do it again. Probably one of the first chances we've had for a really decent scoring chance. Phil lofts it in. Nice position. Chris Burke heads it. Goalkeeper tips it over. They gave it to him for a goal kick. Still, Coach Snyder's questioning how the goalkeeper could tip it over. The only thing I could see was he was way over top of the crossbar in the back athletically, and the ball, if he's calling the ball out before he touches, is probably the only way he got that call. Joe Russ sends it up to Phil Dormish into Vince DeLomo. Drops it back to the defense. David Steen touches for the first time in the game. Sends it out to Stevie Cowell. Matt Wilson to Mike McCurry. Erie McDowell settles at midfield. Starts to look offensively. Mike McCurry, nice outside touch to Phil Dormish. Looks for the cross, goalkeeper comes out, headed out by the defender. It's going to be a corner for St. Clair. Too obvious to miss this time. Nice ball fed in, defender cut in front of his own goalkeeper. Phil Dormish will send it into the middle. See somebody get a head on it. Vince DeLomo touched it, defensive out. Still headed up. Goalkeeper's flopped on the ground. What a ping pong ball going on in there. Just couldn't finish it. Couldn't get a good drive on the ball. Ball kept popping up on everybody. Vince DeLomo had a head on it. Chris Burke had a head on it. Ball saved by Erie McDowell. Joe Russ makes a nice shield. Ball laid out there. David Steen runs it down, accelerates to the side. Nice change of fields. Stevie Cowell sends it in. Goalkeeper's out. Phil Dormish was a little bit shielded by the defender going in. Keeper's punting the line drive to about the 45. Sent back in by Stevie Cowell. Colin Fiduska back in. So we're alternating a lot of bodies. Vince DeLomo tries to feather it through to Sheikh Kumar. Outside to Phil Dormish. Can he hit it with the left foot? Defender takes it. And it'll be a very deep throw in right at the flag. Quick drop. Joe Russ sends it in. Headed back out by Erie McDowell. Last 5 minutes, we've sustained some pressure up front. They're just trying to slide the ball out of pressure. Now they're even going to one man up. Mark corrals it, sends it outside. Steve Kyle. Mike McCurry in the middle. Looks for a give and go to Colin Fiduska. Colin battles, comes up with the ball. Chris Burke steps up nicely. Can't make it connect. And Colin Fiduska sends it back. Erie McDowell controls. Out of bounds will be a throw-in for St. Clair on the far side. Carlton Laston comes in for Sheikh Kumar. And Erie McDowell makes a couple of substitutions. Steve Kyle throws long. Vince DeLomo chests it down. Turns nicely around. Carlin Laston, fresh off the bench, comes down the side. Forces the ball. Erie McDowell makes it a throw. This will be a long throw in deep in the corner. With Danny Poljak out, our long thrower now has turned into Steve Cow. Steve Cow will be taking this throw right at the flag. Looks inside, goes long. Called on a bad throw. Erie McDowell turns it around deep in their end. Erie McDowell is packing it into the back here. Joe Russ makes a run back. Chris Burke steps up. Joey Palladino keeps it from going out of bounds, and Erie McDowell corrals it at the midfield. Long ball sent over the top. Mark calls Chris Burke off. Mark Hass gathers it in. Throws it out to the weak side. Steve Kyle there. Touches to Robbie Merritt. Drops it back. David Steen sends it forward. Ten minutes left in this first half. 0-0 Panthers against Erie McDowell. Nothing dramatic to talk about. It's kind of an up and down game here. We did gain some momentum and had some control for about 5 minutes here. Hopefully we can gain it back. Steve Kyle gets caught, recovers, and sends the ball back to Chris Burke. On the weak side, cross. Rust in. Sends it long. Keeper makes the stop on the end line. Comes back out. Does a rollout to his back. Intercepted with pressure from Robbie Merritt. That was nicely done. Carlin Laston sends it up. Robbie Merritt looks for Mike McCurry inside. Can't connect. Calling for a switch in the back. The ball never got across. David Steen steps in. Matt Maurer needs to look left. There he does. Joe Rust has Green in front of him. Couldn't feed it to the corner of Joey Palladino. And Mike McCurry pressures on the sideline, sends it out of bounds. Erie McDowell throws it in at midfield. Erie McDowell goes over the top. Chris Burke, long boot. We'll see if it settles down, forces the keeper to come out. Waits for it to roll back to him and gathers it in. Returns the favor to the 45. Chested down by Erie McDowell. Sends it back to the defense, settles it in. Matt Wilson on the ground, tries to make a play. Chris Burke covers up. Joey Palladino settles it down to Mike McCurry with a man on. Makes the steal. Erie McDowell turns it the other way. Inside trip. Mark comes up with the ball right at the top of the box. Chris Burke got taken down. Offensive player kept on rolling right around him. David Steen pressured, sends it up. Another long ball. Chris Burke tries to call for Mark. It's way over in the corner. Chris cleans it up. Sends it across the center of the field. Nice open area for Steve Kyle to make a run. Chased down by number 9 from Erie McDowell. Nicely done. Shifted 9 and 6 from forwards back to midfield. A lot of rotation from Erie McDowell. Mike McCurry tries to settle it down. Matt Wilson makes a nice stop. And we've got plenty of time with Steve Kyle on the outside. Oh, looked inside. Strong clearance shot caught Matt Myron right in the side of the head. Got back up, shaking it off. Keeper sends it out. Drop back to Joe Rust. And Matt Wilson's up. Matt Myron gets a touch, sends it back to David Steen. Coach Stoddard definitely irate about a few of these decisions here, pushing the ball to the man who's covered rather than carrying. We got Vince DeLomo coming in for Mike McCurry. Throw over the top. Vince DeLomo steps in. Robbie Merritt heads it out. And Matt Myron tries to control but sends it back into Erie McDowell. Again, another long drive in from midfield. And returns the favor. Vince DeLomo steps in, tries to bring the ball down. Erie McDowell gains control. Drops it back to the defensive line. Defender looks cross field. Steve Kyle makes a nice shoulder run in. Off Erie McDowell. Steve Kyle take the throw. Drops it back to Robbie Merritt. Steve Kyle looks inside and Erie McDowell intercepts. Long through ball. David Steen protects. Ball goes out of bounds off Erie McDowell. David Steen takes the throw. Matt Wilson and Matt Myron back to David Steen. Joey Palladino comes in nicely. Carlin Laston 1-on-3. Gets around the man. Keeper was a little indecisive, let his defender come out. And they clean up the back by Erie McDowell. Matt Wilson steps in. Out of bounds off Erie. Winding down with 4 minutes left in a scoreless first half. We're trying to control the ball in the back. David Steen chases it down. Forwards and mids are starting to read this play from Erie McDowell, and the ball's coming our way based on that rush. But we're starting to see some blue shirts sneak into these intercepted passes in the back, which could spell a breakaway. We've got to speed up the pace of these passes. Chris Burke sends it over the top. Fresh legs again, looking long. Mark calls Chris Burke off, lets it roll into the box. Mark Hass takes it out to the right side. Steve Kyle again has room. Inside to Matt Myron. Carlton Laston tries to drag it through. David Steen with his shoulder. Called for a foul at the 45. This will be a direct at the 45-yard line. Short touch. Nine and 6 seem to know each other's play. Takes the shot over the top. Mark easily gathers it in. Adam Clement and Ethan Goldman, they seem to be the two guys who are the mainstay of this team. For Erie. Passes outside. First time that Erie sent more than two guys forward. They're looking at 4 and 5 guys for these last 2 minutes of the second half. Trying to pressure and control the field. Carlton Laston steps nicely into the defender, forces an errant pass. Man on the back. Yep. Stevie Kyle gathers it in, looks to the center, and nobody home. Chris Burke steps up nicely, trying to drive some offense forward. Long ball over the top. David Steen heads it down. Matt Meyer on the man on coming. Steve Kyle plays it off the defender into the midfield. Looks to go out. Chris Burke looks to go outside to Joe Russ. Looks up front. Vince DeLomo battling. Matt Wilson sends it over to Matt Marin. We're changing fields laterally, trying to generate some offense forward. Feathered nicely through. And Carlton Laston is called on a grab. When you're watching this on TV, there are 8 guys between the 40 and the 20 all the time for Erie McDowell, just making a stone wall for us to pass through. Long ball over the top. Mark comes out easily to the top of the box, gathers it in. 20 seconds left, does a drop kick to midfield. We can get a control down to the last 10 seconds here.
10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
And that sounds the end of the first half. St. Clair Panthers 0, Erie McDowell 0, and we will see you coming out in the second half. Okay, here we are starting the second half of the Erie McDowell versus Upper St. Clair Panthers Saturday evening match. Scoreless tie, 0-0 at halftime. And we'll set the lineups for the second half here for the Panthers. In goal, it's Mark Hast. On defense, Steve Kyle. John Worthy comes into the middle as a sub. Joe Rust on the outside left. Chris Burke anchors down the other middle slot. And at midfield, we've got Matt Myron, we've got Matt Wilson, we've got Joey Palladino, and we have Robbie Merritt. Up front, we've got Carlton Laston and Ashay Kumar. Looks like Coach Schneider is trying to get some offensive punch with a couple of forwards playing a midfield position. Joe Russ makes a touch. Erie McDowell here early with a short bench is going to be looking to try to make this pressure play, and they're going to go for a goal early. Goes to the corner for Erie McDowell. John Worley called on the push, and it's going to be a direct kick early on in the second half. Inside the first minute, Erie McDowell get a chance. Number 7 for Erie McDowell sends it into the center. Head goes up on the push by Erie McDowell by number 9. Sends it back out with Chris Burke. Setting it down for Mark Hass to take the starting kick. So in the first minute, Erie McDowell tried to push this attack. Robbie Merritt tries to help the goal kick out. Joey Palladino sends it back to Joe Russ, sends it back to Chris Burke. Looks back to Mark Hass, settles it down, sends it back outside. Looks like Erie McDowell has changed their tactics. They're sending 3 guys up high, trying to force this back line and try to intercept the pass. This will probably be the tactic that you should use since we're sending the ball across the back a lot. Matt Myron bumped off the ball, no call. And Erie McDowell chases to the corner, looking for a cross and play. Ball pops up. Mark Hast on the near post, corrals it. Looks for a quick outlet. Sends a drop kick to the 35 on the opposite side of the field. Nicely done. Joey Palladino settles it down. Some instant transition. This is the kind of offense that we're going to have to do. Now we settle it back. Ashay Kumar 2. Joey Palladino steps through the defender. 1 on 4. Robbie Merritt comes out. Goalkeeper misses the play on a slide. Goes out of bounds off Erie McDowell. It'll be a corner kick. Goalkeeper came out to try to make a sliding kick on the ball. Popped it up. Sent it across the end line off his defender. Rob Merritt taking it from the left corner. Feeds it in nicely. And Steve Kyle comes in. Doesn't drive it hard enough past the keeper. Gathers it in. Punt comes to midfield. Chris Burke settles it, heads it down. Erie McDowell chips it up. Stevie Kyle sends it across. Matt Myron tries to settle it down. Robbie Merritt back to Chris Burke, and we go long ball. Can Carlton Laston chase it down? Goalkeeper pulls it in the box. Low line drive headed out by Erie McDowell. Help outside. John Worthy settled it in the middle. Steve Kyle 1-on-1. Man cuts in. Off at John Worthy for a corner. Erie McDowell's pressing the attack in this first 5 minutes, and they've gotten a couple of chances. We'll see what happens on this corner. Number 10 for Erie McDowell taking it. Sends it to the far post. Over the top, looks for a shot. Chip back. Headed back in, headed up. Marquez comes out, reads the play. Wide open field. 3 on 4, 4 on 4. We've evened it up. Robbie Merritt takes it in, has open corner. Shoulder to shoulder play. Referees say play on. Centered it into Matt Wilson. Touches it into Shea Kumar, sends it outside to Joey Palladino. Chips it in. Robbie Merritt tried to get position. Matt Myron chasing down to the corner. Makes a nice touch to keep it back in. They play it off him, though. It was nicely done. If he would have stepped in a little bit closer and going to the net, we would have been having a chance. Space given. Carlton Laston starts pressure, forces an errant pass. Matt Myron sends it back to Carlton. Matt Wilson tries to step in, and Erie McDowell comes out of it. Matt Myron sends it across. Joey Palladino on the weak side, left side. Sends it down the line, looking for Joe Rust overlapping. Shea Kumar picks it up. Throws it into Matt Wilson. Back to Joe Rust. Inside to John Worthy. John Worthy looks outside. Intercepted. Erie McDowell's on the run. It's number 19. He's got good speed. John Worthy recovers. He's going to take this left-footed shot or across. Sends it in. Joe Rust clears it out of bounds. Low line drive. 19 had a run all the way up the side of the field. Erie McDowell drops it back. Chris Burke tries to step up, and Joe Rust takes it. Like Joey Palladino was tying his shoes there. Headed up over the top. 19 again. This could be dangerous. Steps around. Mark picks it up. Playing loose in the back here. Giving Erie some chances. Carlton makes a nice chest down. Matt Wilson looked to go to Robbie Merritt behind him, and it's going the other way. Chris Burke steps in to disrupt the play. Erie McDowell chases down at midfield. Number 19's turned into a playmaker for Erie McDowell, trying to look for some guys crossing, making some angle cuts up front. And they've definitely gone more offensively this half, putting 3 guys up top. We're still content to pass the ball back for some ball control here to try and look for an opening. Shea Kumar push from behind off the ball. Crossover. Joe Russ makes a nice step in. Joey Palladino, we've got a transition chance. Carlton Lassen's onside. No. It took a long call, and now we've got a yellow card coming out because of dissension. No. That's a warning. The assistant referee on the near side here called the offside. Looked like a clean over-the-top release of the ball. Carlton was on the run, got called for the offside. A lot of chatter coming off the bench. John Worthy tries to step up. And ball out of bounds off Erie McDowell. Steve Kyle looking for a throw. No, not a lot of movement off the ball. Robbie Merritt found in the middle. Touches to Joe Russ, drops it back. Chris Burke one-on-one, back to Mark Hast. And Mark makes the big clear to midfield. Some dangerous plays back here, making them one-on-one. Steve Kyle goes up nicely, heads it. Matt Wilson heads it. Robbie Merritt drives it down. Looking for Carlton last, and ball turned around by Erie McDowell. Dropped over the top. Mark Hast comes up, gathers at the top of the box. Outside throw to Joe Rust. Looks up the outside. Joey Palladino. Matt Wilson had to step into 3 guys. And Matt Myron makes the outside look. Still looking to free Shea Kumar on the outside. Matt Myron feeds it in. Goalkeeper gathers it at the mid of the box. 10 minutes into the second half. Still scoreless. Upper St. Clair versus Erie McDowell. And it was a nice chip shot over the top. Chris Burke comes back to clean it up. Mark settles it, sends it far across the goal mouth at the top of the box. Joe Russ sends it up the middle. Inside the hash marks, Matt Wilson getting double teamed. Joe Russ way oversized with number 9. On the hold, called for a big guy, little guy foul. Ball's rolling all the way up past the 10-yard line. Chris Burke will take this deep kick. Mark will stay in the net. Mark's saying play it forward. Chris Burke takes a big left kick, sends it up past midfield nicely. Matt Wilson sends it back out. Matt Myron corrals it. Kind of like a tennis match or a ping pong match. Ball's going back and forth, back and forth. Not a whole lot of generation. Ball not getting settled for any confident passing. White sends it to Blue. Blue sends it to White. Erie McDowell now tries to make a run down to the corner. Ball sent out of bounds off Stevie Kyle. He'll be throwing it about the 20-yard line on the football field. We're going to make some mass changes here, and this is kind of what happened in the last game. Colin Fiduska comes in. Vince DeLomo's in. Mike McCurry's in. And we've got Jimmy Belak playing up top right now. And Pat Davis. So we've got the 2 freshmen that came in on top. Ball goes across the end line off Erie McDowell. And it'll be a goal kick. Mark Hass will be setting it down on the 6. Squared up to send it back into play. Over the top, nicely out to the 45, headed back in. Big number 9, standing in the way. Stevie Kyle throw in from the near side. Starting to beat us to the ball. Since the physical play's letting up, Okay, there's the call. Joe Russ caught an elbow in the chops. Erie McDowell seeing that they can get away with some physical play here, and they're playing slide tackles just like you saw too, and they're playing hard to the ball. They're going to run through people. Vince DeLomo sends it into Mike McCurry. Throw down. This should be a direct kick for St. Clair coming in at the 35. We've got to use this set play to have a chance here. Just about 15 minutes into the second half, scoreless tie 0-0. Really the first chance that we've seen for the second half for us. Chris Burke will send it over the top. Everybody lined up at the 18. Deep, headed by Vince DeLomo over top of the goal. Goalkeeper will be sending it back out. Substitution for Erie McDowell, changes the play. Erie McDowell, goalkeeper, sends it into motion. Headed down by Mike McCurry. Colin Fiduska makes the touch. Back to Steve Cowell. Inside, Matt Myron loses the ball. Sends it long over the top. John Worthy was looking for help from Chris Burke. Chris steps across. John Worthy sends it out. Colin Fiduska settles it. And Pat Davis corrals it. Going down the left side, taken out at the ankles there on a slide tackle. Puts his shin guards back in. He's ready to go in. Joe Russ throws hard to Pat Davis. Pat Davis looking inside. Matt Myron one-on-one. Makes the touch. Mike McCurry tries to gather it in. Chris Burke outside the Matt Myron. Finally, we're looking forward. Colin Fiduska going to the corner hard. Makes a save. Doesn't go out on the end line. Ball goes out of bounds. This will be a St. Clair throw-in. Joe Russ sends it in the middle. Looking for runners. Ball headed up. Pat Davis settles it down. Is he going to get a shot? Drives it low. Goalkeeper goes low. Keeper sends it to midfield. Vince DeLomo settles it down. Intercepted by Erie McDowell. Going in. Chris Burke stops. Vince DeLomo looking outside. Off Erie McDowell. Colin Fiduska doesn't save the ball, going back blue. Okay, we've got substitutions coming in for St. Clair. David Steen back in the game. And for the first time, we've got Karsten Lachelle. Long throw across midfield. Headed out by Stevie Cowell. Settled down by Vince DeLomo. Goes across field looking for Pat Davis on the outside. Sends it in. Mike McCurry's on the run. Doesn't get there. The first time we've seen some guys running off the ball, making some angled cuts. Erie goes to the corner. It's going to be too long. Even with the save, it's going to be a goal kick for Marcast. No serious chances again by either team. Similar to the first half, we're winding down. Ball headed out at midfield. Pat Davis there. Joe Russ to Pat Davis on the throw. Off of Pat Davis. No, Pat's going to get the throw in. It's going to be deep. We're quickly gaining ground here. Chip back to Colin Fiduska from Jimmy Belak, and Pat Davis sends it over top. finally on the run. We're seeing some touch passes. We're seeing a little bit of open space. Be a deep throw in by Erie McDowell. Headed, helped out. Steve Kyle steps in nicely. Looks to the middle of Vince DeLomo. Feathers it to Jimmy Belak. With his back to the goal, didn't get turned around. Goalkeeper gathers it in. And Erie McDowell comes back out. Carson Lachelle heads it back in deep. And Erie McDowell sending a kick and chase game. Chris Burke sets it out to Joe Rust. Up to Vince DeLomo. Looks outside to Joe again. Pat Davis steps in. Ball high. Chested down by Joe Rust. Finds Carson Lachelle. Nice touch outside to Steve Kyle. Sends it in again. Carson not turned totally in. Erie McDowell comes back out. David Steen in for the first time in the second half. Makes a touch. Feathered all the way across to Pat Davis out of bounds. Okay, we're whistled down, pushed back about another 5 yards for the throw-in. Erie McDowell takes it long down the far side of the field. Mike McCurry disrupts the play. And they come to the wide side. Steve Kyle makes a nice run up. Intercepts, looks forward. Colin Fiduska gets hit from behind, and we're going to get a direct kick from about the 25-yard line. We set it back about 10. We'll see how far Chris Burke can get. He can get all the way up to that referee. Nearing the halfway point of the second half on a scoreless tie, 0-0. Chris Burke will have a chance to feather this in. Chips it into the 18. Goalkeeper comes out, punches it. Colin Fiduska comes across, and he's down with a knee or a shin. Ball goes out of bounds. Collins back up, shaking it off. Looked like he went down, tough grabbing. He's saying he's fine. We're going back into play. Throw in from Steve Kyle. Drops it to the corner for Colin Fiduska. Steve Kyle sends it across. Jimmy Belak goes up, heads it in. Goalkeeper gathers it in. Again, we went through this spurt in the first half, about 5 minutes, where we controlled the game up in the offensive zone. Here McDowell comes back across midfield down the left side. Feathers it into number 9, looks for number 6. These two big guys, like I said, they move from forwards back to mids, and they're controlling the midfield here. Looking to go to net. Joe Rust on the outside. Ball goes in, Mark goes up, nice. Gets right in front of that number 9. Line drive, turn around, Pat Davis on the grab. Erie McDowell brings it back. That kind of quick transition is what we're looking for to generate some offense and get some space. Good step up. Jimmy Belak tries to control. Okay, won't give us advantage, but stops the play. Chris Burke sends it back in. Pat Davis looking to try to run through the guy. Goalkeeper gathers it in. Keep driving this ball up the right side consistently, too. This ball's not even coming near the left side. Vince DeLomo comes through midfield. Looks for Jimmy Belak to cut off the center. Carson Lachelle on the chase to the corner. David Steen nicely over. Erie McDowell sending 4 subs in. as we just passed 18 minutes left in the second half. Nothing to score. Phil Dormish in for the Panthers. Carlton Laston up front. Shea Kumar up front also. And Joey Palladino joins at the midfield position. Turn, nicely taken on a shot, hits the goalpost, the football field. Mark Hass sets it back into play. Ball not settled down. This number 9 is all over the field. He's a big guy. Joey Palladino has the ball. Joe Russ got clipped on the side. He's gone down to one knee. And it looks like we're going to get it's going to be a direct kick again. Chris Burke's going to take the kick, send it along the 18. Not much generated off the run, but we're trying to get a couple of free kicks here for chances. Chris Burke sends it in. Goalkeeper goes up, brings it down. Tried a quick transition here, but it's short. Carson Lachelle tries to turn the ball, man was looking like he was offside. Mark Hass comes out and doesn't get the ball. Chipped over the top. Man looked offside, but no call from the referee. Number 18 scores. At the 16-minute mark, Erie McDowell breaks a scoreless tie, making it 1-0. Mark came out, went down.
Score by Matt Mealy.
A lot of white shirts looking for an offside call, but it didn't happen. We're hoping this is going to be the wake-up call. Steve Kyle outside. Karsten Lachelle steps in. Sends it back out. Shea Kumar intercepts. Can't control the ball. Erie McDowell sends it out. We'll look and watch and see if Erie McDowell packs it back in like they did in the first half. That one break, that one chance with about 16 minutes left in the half makes it 1-0, Erie McDowell. Throw in by David Steen, intercepted by Erie McDowell. Nicely out of bounds. This will be a deep throw in for St. Clair. Steve Kyle taking it. Looks to Matt Myron. Sends it out of bounds with pressure with two guys on him. Erie McDowell will be content to play patient as long as we want to play ball control right now with a 1-0 lead. Stepping up. Mike McCurry sends up the left side, too far for Joey Palladino. We were playing a kind of a dull 0-0 game here, back and forth. Now we've got to step it up. Joey Palladino comes down the left side, crosses, inside's floating. Goalkeeper touches for a corner. Nice effort about that rainbow shot. Tough on a goalkeeper coming from far out. Takes the plane of the goal. Made the touch, sends it out. St. Clair sets up for a corner. They're going to have to make some of these set plays count. Joey Palladino is going to take it left-footed. Sends it into the far post. Keeper up. Grabs it before Chris Burke gets there. Big outlet down the left side. This guy's made the long run the last time, number 19. Steve Kyle giving him space. Chips it inside. Goes far post. Mark Hass comes out. Fed up to Chris Burke. Ball out of bounds off of Erie McDowell. Nice left-footed shot, was going far post. Mark Hass made a nice dive and save. Chris Burke throws it. Matt Myron tries to make the stop. Joe Rust out to Chris Burke. Double team touch, out of bounds on a give and go. They tried to make it work on that far side of the field. Joe Rust will take the throw. Down the line, sent back in by Erie McDowell. Ball out of bounds off of blue. Referee called St. Clair ball. Carlton drops it in. Matt Myron sends it across. Erie McDowell intercepts. Ball going outside. We're dropping back. Steps it through. David Steen sends it out of bounds. Deep throw in by Erie McDowell. Sends it across. Man's open on the far side. Joe Rust stays with his man. Chris Burke steps up and push from behind. Erie McDowell have the direct kick from inside the 20-yard line. They're doing a quick start. No, they're not. He stepped off the ball. Set play coming from Erie McDowell. 7 chips it across. Number 9 comes out of the pack again. Vince Lomo works through. Which way's the ball going? We're coming back in on a throwdown. From the center hash marks at the 20-yard line. This is, again, a dangerous position to start taking these set plays from. We're winding down to 10 minutes left. Erie McDowell content to take their time in a 1-0 score. Run over the top. Pike through the goal post. With 10 minutes left in the second half, Erie McDowell leads 1-0 on a breakaway chip goal. Mark Hass setting it back into play. We're still playing patient with 10 minutes winding down. Outside, Joey Palladino brings it back in. We're set up. Matt Myron makes a touch, intercepted by Erie McDowell, sends it back the other way. Erie McDowell now is bringing about 7 guys back and pressuring the ball when they do have it in the back end. Steve Kyle sends it up to Vince Delomo, looks outside. Matt Myron makes a touch inside to Robbie Merritt. Pat Davis, long touch, goalkeeper's out, shielded. Pat tries to work his way through, doesn't get there. Goal kick coming out, and we're winding it down to 9 minutes left in the second half. Goalkeeper stretches, sends it to 40-yard line. Headed back by Mike McCurry. Vince Delomo looks outside for Pat Davis again. Vince comes and chases it down, goes to the corner, out off Erie McDowell. Vince is trying to step up to generate something up front. Takes a short throw to Pat Davis. Chips it back, out of bounds. Wasted opportunity up front. Erie McDowell starting the 10-minute slowdown here with substitutions on a regular basis. We're going to have to generate something. Ball goes across. Through ball nicely done on the right side. Man's open. Chris Burke steps in with position. Centers it. Ball volleyed up. Stevie Kyle says he's got it. Heads it down. Number 9 charges through. 19 looks for the cross on the ground. Out of bounds off of St. Clair. Clock winding in the favor of Erie McDowell. Long throw into the box. Standing. Mark gathers it in. We've got to get some quick starts here. Joey Palladino open with Green in front of him. Robbie Merritt on the run. Had to check back to the ball because he would have been offside. And the ball ends up in the goalkeeper's hands. Just passing 7 minutes left. Goalkeeper took a glance at it. Sends it back to midfield. Matt Myron sends it forward. Robbie Merritt runs it down. Checks back. Joey Palladino is open on the weak side. Chips it back. 19 comes running through. That's the second time he's made that intercept. Reading that pass. Pass is too soft, just laying out there, and he's running right through it. Ball thrown into Vince DeLomo. Matt Myron settles it down. Pat Davis tries to make the turn around the man. Pressure. And the ball goes out of bounds off Erie McDowell. Pat Davis drops short. Robbie Merritt pushed right through the ball. Erie McDowell comes across. We didn't look offensively with Danny Poljak being out of the game. We just did a drop pass. Joey Palladino, Vince DeLomo coming down through the hash marks. There's 8 guys between the 30 and the 10 right now for Erie McDowell, just packing it in. Pat Davis comes in. Still playing with the ball up. Back to David Steen. Into Vince DeLomo. Another pass laid out there, run through by Erie McDowell. 18's on the run, chips it back to the center. Played out by Joe Rust. The transition play that we wanted to get is starting to be generated by Erie McDowell, even though they're sitting back and playing defensively on us. Carlton Lasting comes in for some offensive punch up front. Chris Burke making the long throw down the sidelines. And we're winding down to less than 5 minutes in the second half. 1-0, Erie McDowell. We got to make a run. White shirted St. Clair Panthers need to show some desperation here. Late in the game, being down by 1 goal. David Steen looks to send it in. Keeper comes out. No traffic in front. Just past the 4-minute mark left in the second half. Chris Burke sending the ball forward. Carlton Laston looking to run on it. Goalkeeper comes out and makes the play, shielded by his own defender. Long ball with a through ball might work, but this big high lobber. Okay, we're going to get the call on a behind the back hit on Matt Myron. 3.5 minutes left. Still clock winding in favor of Erie McDowell with a 1-0 lead. Chris is teeing it up as the ball passes, or the clock passes the 3-minute mark. Goes short. David Steen sends it in on a low liner. Vince DeLomo's there. Back to the net. Couldn't make a turn or control the ball. And we're going to get a corner out of this. Three minutes left in the second half. Corner from Robbie Merritt coming in. Drops in the middle. Big number 9 came out of that pack with a header. Missed pass off of Erie McDowell. This will be a deep throw in for St. Clair. The referee was looking to see who grabbed that one first. Pat Davis throws it in. Ball comes back out to him. Submarine, no call. Pat adamant about trying to get a foul. Goes across the end line for a free kick for the goalkeeper. 2 minutes left in the second half. St. Clair Panthers down 1-0 to Erie McDowell. Ball back into play. Desperation. Erie McDowell on the run. No call on that. Sends the ball to a corner. Nicely done. Marquez comes out, makes the diving save. Number 19 keeps centering the ball in. Defense needs to step up, plus the offense has to make a drive. 1.5 minutes left in the second half. Transition has to keep rolling. Matt Myron in the middle. Sends it over the top. Joey Palladino tracks it down. Erie McDowell will be sending the ball forward. Down to less than a minute left. Stevie Kyle tries to drive it in. We've got to control and make this one last ditch effort here. Mike McCurry heads it across. We're gaining control, maintaining control. We got to get an offensive chance. Ball goes across the middle. Robbie Merritt does a takedown. And it's 40 seconds and counting. Erie McDowell take their good old time on setting this ball back into play. 30-second mark. Sends it back out. Mike McCurry. Offense needs to push up hard. Steve Kyle comes over the top. Mike McCurry coming close to 10 seconds left. Ball out of bounds.
10, 9, 8,
Throw in.
7, 6,
Mike McCurry sends it back in.
3, 2.
There's going to be no chance. As Erie McDowell defeats the Upper St. Clair Panthers here, 1-0. And we'll go into Monday's game against Peters.